So welcome everyone in YouTube to Age of Wonders Let's Play. This is one of my favorite games that I have been playing already from the teenage years. I haven't played it for quite a long time though, so as such I do not remember the maps well or anything like that. So we'll see how this will go, as I'm gonna be playing nevertheless with the highest difficulty possible. I am thinking about doing campaign later on, but for this I'm gonna be playing just the scenario map, because there we can easily just look at the different options and magic and stuff like that without going through the full campaign where you couldn't immediately get everything in any way. So this is similar, or I think this is the best game from the genre where the Hero of the Might and Magic 3 plus Disciples, for example, belong to as well. I like the Age of Wonders the most, mostly because of its tactical combat. Plus in Heroes 3, for example, you would be getting a huge amount of legions of soldiers and armies to fight for you, which kind of devalues the single units strength etc. So that's, for example, one of the reasons that I prefer Age of Wonders. Age of Wonders is the game that is closest to the Master of Magic. That was an earlier game, pretty similar to this. This has some improvements to it, for example to tactical combat, but some things are also worse. I haven't played the Master of Magic that much myself though, so I do not know all the differences. I should try and play it someday as well, a little bit more, but as of yet I haven't really played it that much. Very little of the beginning. So I'm looking through these maps. Unfortunately, you cannot have a random map, which is very much a shame. But you can nevertheless be able to pick from these kind of maps here. I prefer to play maps where there's as many players as possible. So as such, this Oracle's Eye is one that I prefer the most. It's a very big map, it has a lot of cities and a lot of players, so let's select that one. Then we can choose what race we would like to be, and I think I'm going to be choosing let's go and pick elves for this time. I'm gonna be putting everyone else from these computer controlled enemies into the Emperor status, mostly. I'm thinking about putting all the evil ones and all the neutral ones at Emperor, but as I'm a good one, I think it would bring a little bit more difficulty if not all of these goods would be Emperor status. Let's put this one to Emperor status and maybe put these two into Lord statuses. So then these other ones should be more powerful in my opinion. You can also set them to have an aggressor, defender, expander, scholar, scorcher, etc. statuses. I think the undead could be pretty nice as scorchers, so that they would probably go and destroy some of the places. So let's do that. Let's put orcs could be probably something like aggressors, and goblins expanders. They could dark elves could be in a normal status pretty much. These could probably be all in a pretty normal status. Maybe we could put dwarves to be a little bit like defensive. It's nice to be able to mix up with these different kind of options nevertheless. And then let's have Astrax be expanders and put some other option here too, random for example, and otherwise have normal statues. I prefer to play this with simultaneous turns. You would be able to have a classic option as well, where everyone would be taking turns in a turn-based mode, but for this I prefer to have it simultaneous, so everyone will have their turn at the same time. As such, there's sometimes very interesting things kind of happening, but it would also take a lot more time in this game if we would be doing everyone their turns in a turn-based manner. There's going to be turn-based combat nevertheless in a tactical combat, so it doesn't really change that, which is a good thing. So simultaneous leaders on map definitely, and I want to customize my leader, so I want to pick that one. I don't know if I want to be picking allied victory, but maybe we could take it, as it's kind of weird to be, if you're allied with some group and you're the ones that are winning, I kind of think it's just natural that you win together and not just like you have to be destroying them in the end as well. So let's get started then. Now we can choose our hero here, leader. I'm gonna go and pick... who would I like to pick? I don't remember all the pictures here, so I'm just gonna go through them like this and see what options there was. I usually like to pick this one here, so... even if she wouldn't be that much of a put into an elf category, but I don't really care. I think she goes well for the elves when she has a green eyes and green background color too, and you can't really see her ears, so I'm gonna pick her. Then here you can see the skill statuses, assign skill points. So here's the different attack, defense, damage, resistance, hits and movement points on the map. And then there's this kind of a special skill sets, as you can see, like spellcasting 2. I'm not gonna be taking parry or leadership, at least for the beginning. Spellcasting 2 is pretty nice, so that's something that I'm gonna be keeping. Movement points, we would have attack and defense. Let's see what we would be able to take at this point. I probably want to take something that she wouldn't be able to pick later on anymore if we don't pick it immediately in the start. So for example, dominate would be one of those kind of skills. I kind of like it, so that would be a very good possibility. Let's see. Trail of Darkness is quite interesting too. Leaves a trail of forgetfulness, unexplored terrain among enemies in the wake of the unit's passing. So it always makes the explored area for the enemies unexplored, so that they cannot see it if you have this kind of option for yourself, or this kind of a skill. So there's a lot of different kind of interesting skills overall in here. I definitely think so, at least. Holy strikes, and with holy energy there's also regeneration, and as said, a lot of different kind of options. But as said, I kind of like to dominate, so I'm gonna be picking that. I think I'm gonna leave these as they are right now, because well, attack, defense, these kind of points are nevertheless pretty useful to have a little bit, so let's have them like that. Then here we could be picking our spares of magic. 4 is the maximum amount you can have in someone, some magic spare ability, and I'm gonna be having it in this life magic. I think as the second magic spare I'm gonna be taking 3 of the earth. You could be able to pick some others as well, but as you can see now, because we have earth and we have life, we cannot pick air or death anymore. So they kind of cancel each other's out, which I think is only logical nevertheless. And finish.